when? Who back when?
Hello, I'm Leon. I sometimes go by Punkin. If you're watching this video, then odds are you are a Doctor Who fan, and if you are a Doctor Who fan, then there's an incredibly slim chance that you're familiar with a podcast that I do that's called Who Back When. This is my introductory plug, sorry. Just in case you're interested, have a look at whobackwhen.com. Check it out, I'm pretty sure you'll like it. That's not why I'm here today though. I'm here because this past summer I built a TARDIS and I filmed the whole process, and this is basically like the expurgated version. I've cut it down to like 20 minutes or something. Before we jump into that footage though, I just want to give a massive shout out to an incredible website. Something that was a huge help to me and inspiration to me while I was building this TARDIS. In case you've YouTubed this video because you yourself are considering building a TARDIS, then please do yourself a favor and register with a site called TARDISbuilders.com. It is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a forum for builders of TARDISes, and it's an incredible resource for knowledge on not just TARDIS building, but like Doctor Who prop building in general. Fantastic site, and the people there are super nice, so thank you very much, TARDISbuilders.com. Enough about other people though, let's talk about my TARDIS. Enjoy!
Okay, let's have a little tour of the proceedings. I've already started, as you can see. That's because the camera battery was charging and I didn't want to wait. We've got these. These are sawn to 200 centimeters in length, 2 meters. They're the verticals here for the doors. Then we're going to need 40 of these little bastards. They are 30 centimeters. I've got them here. I still have a few to saw. Got how many? 10 to saw. Damn it. Here is the most amazing tool. Definitely a total lifesaver. I would just want to say thank you very much to my mum who got it for me for my birthday. This complete and utter death machine and the scourge of planks all around the world is a tremendous time saver. It's a mitre saw. I was originally just going to do this by hand, but I realise now that would have been futile. That would have taken forever. Check this out. I got myself this really cool gazebo type thing. Why do I say type thing? It's a gazebo. It's 15 quid at Tesco. So now I can work in the rain. More planks. Bajing, bajing. And they are going to be, basically that are going to be the edges, the vertical edges of the TARDIS. And they're also going to be what are, how do I put this? They're going to hold the doors together. They're going to hold the doors in place. Oh, hang on, I've got a visitor. Hello. Yeah, that's Stinky. She's the neighbour's cat. Anyway, I'm going to feed Stinky and then I'm going to do this. Ciao-Ciao. I've decided to do the base last, and the reason for that is that I only have 4 of these. I'm going to need all 4, and just in case I've got my measurements wrong, I'm not leaving that up to chance. I don't want to go and have to order another 4. Plywood. So remember I showed you the shell, so to speak, the frame of the door. Not the door frame, but the frame of the door. This is going behind that. So these are going to be the boards themselves. So for example, after this has been painted blue, this is where I'm going to be gluing the TARDIS sign, the public call box sign. Let's do a quick time jump. Look at that. I bloody pierced it. I think that might mean I'm using slightly too long a screw. Anyway, time for the base. Do you remember that I mentioned only having a limited amount of 2x4s and not wanting to make any mistakes, and therefore leaving that until last? Well, I didn't leave it until last. and I made a mistake. Can you see that? So I accidentally sawed them a little bit too short, which is not great. Consequently, I'm now putting it together. It's a bit of a patchwork. Obviously, this is just one layer of the base. Within that is then going to be one more layer with a bunch of holes in it, strategically placed holes in order to allow the doors or the sides and the corner pieces to slide in. And then within that, there's going to be yet one more layer. And I'm hoping that adding that second and third layer will also add a little bit of stability to those shitty corner bits that I've now caused.
Alright, so finally a day has arrived without any rain, which is a huge bonus. It's been raining every single evening and most weekends of late. And number one on my list for today is correcting a mistake. I got my measurements wrong. It's now marked 3 mistakes that I have made in building this TARDIS. I'll go through them all, possibly in a separate segment. Basically, I got my plank measurements wrong, my plank widths, or not widths, my plank thickness is wrong. So the really neat slots that I made in the base of the TARDIS, the corner ones are now too narrow. So I need to use a rasp to basically, well, rasp, file down, whatever the verb is, 2 millimeters off each side. I don't know if you can see it, but that is a huge spider. Should we go past? Jump. Well done.
I had to sand down and use a block plane. But what that really showed me was that I desperately need to sand down everything. To give you an example, here's the base, and if you can tell, I have not sanded this. It's incredibly rough. It doesn't look very pretty either. When I was at the start, I was just thinking, well, maybe I don't have to do that much work on the base. I'm just going to paint over it basically, but check this out. I've sanded this side, vroom, already, and oh, I hope you can see this in the video. It looks so much nicer. The wood grain is suddenly visible. It's really beautiful. Hello, and apologies for the very sudden change in audio and video quality. I'm recording this off my phone because my regular camera battery is out of juice. Why am I recording this in all haste? That is because I was gonna record a Doctor Who podcast tonight, yes, but plans changed and it turns out I've got a free evening. It's been like 2 weeks since I last worked on the TARDIS, and in those 2 weeks it's gone from like, oh, hey, you can work during the evenings to it gets pitch black at like 7:30, which really blows. We're gonna go into the garden. It's gonna be like Blair Witch Project out there because it is pitch black, and I'm gonna carry what I haven't already carried in of the TARDIS into the house, and I'm gonna try to get some work done. Yeah, while this charges. Okay, let's go. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. Holy smokeroonies and cheesecakes. I have done a little bit more work today. Let me show you what I've got. It's been a day devoted to sawing all the bits and figuring out angles for the roof, which it turns out I'm no longer very good at. I remember that being much easier in school. Here's the really cool one. 8 of these 53.4cm pieces with these really cool angles sawn into them. You'll see in a little bit how those angles are meant to fit into the TARDIS. Here's hoping I can actually make it work.
Hi there. Due to holidays and whatnot, it's been a little while actually. You won't have noticed this, but it's been a little while since the last time I did one of these videos. You may see that there's something new going on here. What's that? I have no idea. Maybe that'll have to be featured in a different video. Yes, that's the roof. Teaser for the next one. That's not what I'm doing today though. What I'm doing today instead is the set of 4 top signs that are going, this is the top, this is the actual roof, and the 4 signs that are going on either side of the roof. So that's the actual cupola, if you want, of the roof. Check this out. Okay, let's talk roof. I haven't really shown you much of the process of building the roof. That's partly because I don't know, I didn't film it. I've got a whole bunch of pictures though. Here, check out this collage. That's a nice collage, eh? Let me show you some close-ups. So I showed you some pictures of the frame that I built before. That frame can still be seen. Ooh. There you go. In there. You can see that, I think. Alright, never mind the tape, I'll explain that in a second. So I put that together, which was good fun. Was incredibly proud of myself for having used my good old math skills to calculate the angles. And then, after having calculated the angles, I decided, oh, you know what? Actually, this might be a little bit too slopey, too high a top for the TARDIS, so I'm gonna recalculate it, at which point I realized that on TARDISbuilders.com, there's actually a TARDIS roof angle calculator that does the job for you. So I felt like a little bit of an idiot for not having looked at that first. But you know what? It was good fun doing it on my own. This ended up being roughly 45 degrees. I didn't have a very accurate tool for measuring this. So what I ended up doing was I just Googled 45 degrees and I found an image, scaled it up to A4 size and printed it out and cut it out. And I then used that as my guide for cutting it up. This is actually a little bit on the tilted side. You can see that if I hold the camera like that. Yeah, you can see it's not very precise. There are little bits and bobs. If we go a little bit closer there, you can see, ooh, it looks dreadful. I sawed more bits of plywood, glued them onto the inside, and then the tape that you saw before, that's to hold it in place, or that was to hold it in place while the glue was drying. And then I added a wood filler in between, which I've then sanded down. Shazam! It is I, and I'm standing in the light because it is finally a nice day. Sorry, it's very difficult to find the right... Yeah, and there it goes, clouds. Anyway, as you can see, everything is still inside, but that's all about to change because today, vroom, everything is going out into the garden to be just a teeny little bit of a sanding. Some wood filler is going to be applied, but most of all, the most important thing is I'm going to prime stuff today. This is all in preparation for next week's paint job. That's at least the plan, weather permitting. For the prime job, I have gone with, this is partly internet research, partly, someone mentioned this on TARDISbuilders.com, and partly propaganda from the manufacturer themselves. I'm going with Dulux, let's go with Dulux. Yeah, weather shields. This is the exterior wood preservative primer, followed by, this is for next week, I went with Oxford Blue because it seemed appropriate. It's also fairly close in tone. I've seen lots of people mention online that they've used Oxford Blue for their TARDISes, so I'm by no means special in this case. However, I wonder if it is the first Oxford Blue painted TARDIS to appear in Oxford. Gold medal, please. Okie dokie, here we go. Gonna get some painting done. Everything will at that point basically be done, with the exception of the roof frame, rather, which I haven't primed yet, mainly because I ran out of primer, and the signs, which I also haven't primed yet, for the same reason. After that, it's pretty much just bits and bobs. I get the lock fitted, attach handles, that sort of thing. Oh, windows. Windows are a major thing. Still missing. I'll see what I can do about that today. / tomorrow. Right, excuse the birds singing in the background. I'm done. I've put on 2 coats of paint. As you can see, they're nice and blue. I've got more paint arriving. I thought the paint that I had would only last for 1 coat, but it's actually lasted for 2. So it turns out the Dulux Weather Shield website calculator thing was right. And I've got more paint coming, so I'm thinking I might put a 3rd coat on. Anyway, everything is painted except for the roof frame and the top signs, because I still need primer. Here's a quick glance of what it looks like at the moment. It's slightly emotional. It's really amazing to see this thing blue. It's as though it only now turned into a TARDIS. I'm super excited. I'm really, really pumped. This is what being a TARDIS builder must feel like. It has come to the lantern. Let me talk you through what I've got here. So first off, I have a very cheap solar-powered garden lantern. It's got a little solar cell at the top. It has a little LED inside, which is actually surprisingly bright, I have to say. Next up, I love this little toy. I was expecting this to look very different, but what this is a boop boop remote control LED. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this inside here, basically. I'm going to take this off, I'm going to glue this on, because I trust this more than I trust the LED, the solar powered LED. Plus I kind of like the idea of this being installed in the TARDIS, and when I show people to the garden, I just sort of sneakily hold the remote control in my pocket and snap my fingers, and voila, the TARDIS lights up. Lantern Part 2. I've left the actual solar cell on there I'm not entirely sure why, just in case I want to rewire it. In the meantime, I took out all the wiring, and this is the shitty little LED that it came with. I took all of that out, and in order to make room for the wireless LED, which I filed down to make it fit, and I've super glued it in there, so that's pretty solid. Boop. And I'm gonna go and make me some TARDIS windows. And that's about it, really. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for watching it all the way to the end. Oh my god. If you like this video, why not give it a like? And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe? You know how this YouTube stuff works. My friends and I are going to be popping a bunch more videos online in the near future, especially now that there's a TARDIS prop at our disposal. Until the next time, ciao-ciao.